So in our coverage of FACC TV, we continue to listen to the leaders of the Silicon Valley. And we are fortunate enough, Anne, to have with us the mayor, the newly elected mayor of the city of San Jose, the capital of Silicon Valley, Mayor Sam Liccardo. Greetings, Mayor.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Yes, it's a pleasure meeting you again today.
Okay, and let me just go straight to the point. We were just contemplating on one question. How is your outlook for 2015, considering you've just been elected as mayor of San Jose?
Well, of course, it's fantastic. We've got great opportunities ahead here this year in San Jose, and I'm grateful for the good work of the Filipino American Chamber, and really so many of our small businesses and medium-sized businesses that are continuing to create jobs in this city. It's so incredibly important for us, and we know that many of those businesses need more connection with the city. We need to do more to enable business owners to be able to get through the permitting and all the challenges. And so I look forward to working with the Filipino American Chamber and many other chambers to ensure we're better communicating with our business community.
How can this, for example, the City of San Jose, Silicon Valley Chamber of Commerce, how can they possibly collaborate and coordinate their resources to this ethnic Chamber of Commerce? Because I can see that there are chambers of commerce that are really struggling in terms of funding.
Very much so. So in January, I led the effort to create an Office of Immigrant Affairs here in San Jose. We know one area where there's a real shortfall is that for many ethnic businesses where English is not the first language spoken, we're not doing a very good job communicating in the community, either about opportunities or about just how to get through the bureaucracy at City Hall. So for example, initiative I pushed back in November, we have a lot of retail opportunities in our airport, right? For clothiers, for restaurants, and others. And we don't have a very good representative of our we don't have a very good representation of our ethnic diversity at the airport. For example, there are no Vietnamese American businesses anywhere in the airport. And so it has dawned on me that we're not doing the job at the city of reaching out in the community. We need the help of the chambers to do that. It's very effective because you know the community in many cases, better than we do when it comes to bridging the gap of language. We also know we don't have enough people, for example, in the permitting department who speak Spanish or Vietnamese or other languages that are critical for us. And certainly I know most Filipino Americans obviously are English speakers in San Jose. Many have been here for several generations. So that the issues certainly of that community are perhaps different than some of the others. But we do know we need to significantly upgrade our second language capabilities in the city. And I think that's where an Office of Immigrant Affairs working with the chambers can ensure if we don't have the fluency, we can borrow that fluency. Certainly with folks who want to volunteer, help us translate materials, make sure they're readily accessible for everyone to get access, to be able to get through a permitting or a licensing process without too much trouble.
Okay, then well said. The other thing that we're actually trying to learn from you is the transition from being a city council to become a mayor. Because it used to be like one segment of the city. Now you are actually father of the entire city. How is it?
Well, the transition's going well. It is a big city, though. But I'm a person who likes to tell a lot of bad jokes. And the good news is that when you become mayor, people laugh more at your jokes, even if they're still just as bad as they were before. So that's good. But, you know, I used to represent the downtown and part of the east side in what they call District 3. That was a very diverse, very dynamic district, a lot's going on. I think it was a good training ground for me to be able to understand the needs of a city that's also very dynamic and changing quickly. And so we've got a great team here in the mayor's office. We're still building it, we're still hiring. So certainly if there are good folks out there that you know, send them our way. And I think we're going to do some great things in the next year.
And what are you looking forward to achieve during your first year?
Well, we've already started a couple of initiatives, and I'll be announcing several more at the State of the City address in March. We'll be hosting that Actually, the Independence High School will be hosting that on the east side. So that'll be the first time we're going to have a State of the City address on the east side. We've already launched one initiative focusing on how we can expand after-school programs for kids. We know a lot of kids are struggling right now, particularly if they're English learners, particularly if they're coming from neighborhoods where their families are struggling. And so we want to really expand the offerings after the school bell rings to increase learning and expand the learning day. So we've gathered a group of superintendents, of education experts, of foundations. The city will kick in some money. We're going to be asking those foundations to help as well and see if we can significantly scale programs that will help boost performance in math and reading and STEM skills. So that's one initiative. Another initiative that we're launching with a formal working group on March 4th is going to focus on jobs for teenagers. We know that the best way to stop a bullet is with a job. And we've got to get to our kids before the gangs do. And for a 16 or 17-year-old in the summertime, doesn't have a lot of time, having a lot of things to do. We know that the susceptibility to be persuaded by peers to get into some trouble is pretty great. And so we want to give them real opportunity and give a 17-year-old their first path along building a resume that's going to provide them a pathway for success. So those are a couple of initiatives we're launching now. There'll be more to come.
And speaking of other initiatives, do you have any initiatives regarding small businesses to compete with large corporations, small, the micro businesses, to compete somehow with the big companies, especially so when it comes to government contracting?
I think the key for the city is going to be focusing on how we can dice up the large contracts that are often too large for many of our local businesses to be able to bid on. And we know there are restrictions under federal law about how we can require particular participation from one community or another, or one ethnic group or another. But if we're able to break up the large contracts, it gives more people a chance, particularly if they, because they're small businesses, simply don't have the capacity to take on the large contract. So I've been urging our Public Works Department to think more about that, and I hope we'll be able to make some progress there. There's a lot we can do to help small businesses. I mean, the best thing we can do is to get out of the way often, because I know City Hall and red tape can get in the way. I'll give you a couple examples of what I've been working on as a council member, sort of the way I tend to think. One is, I listen to the complaints that I hear from businesses and retail brokers who tell me why they can't, for example, come downtown. They say, well, parking is too expensive for employees. So I launched an initiative to reduce parking costs in public garages. And we did it without spending any taxpayer money. We knew we had, back in 2010, lots of public garages, lots of space in those garages because we had a lot of vacancy downtown. Nobody was coming downtown. And so I worked with some brokers and said, look, let's tell all of your clients that if they come downtown, we'll give them free parking in a parking garage for half the term of their lease. Let's see if anybody comes. Well, we tried it out, and sure enough, we have now signed up. There's 130, I believe over 130 businesses signed up under that incentive. We filled up to over 700,000 square feet of space in the downtown, including 35 new tech companies have come in, all taking advantage of that incentive and obviously adding vibrancy to our street and generating more business at restaurants and everything else. So those little things can make a difference. And that's how I really want to try to push it. Another recent initiative was waiving permit fees for small businesses that want to get into vacant storefronts. We know it's a big problem, a lot of vacancy in neighborhood business districts in downtown. If we can fill that storefront, everything looks better on the street. It's safer, everything's good. So we launched an initiative that said, look, this first $16,000 of costs of permits, we're going to waive that if you move into an empty storefront in an existing business district and see how many businesses take advantage of it. Well, we're doing it now along East Santa Clara. We're starting to see space filling up. And most of those businesses, as we know in the city, are immigrant-led businesses. That's really the lifeblood of our city.
And it has been extended, I think, the deadline of availing of the storefront initiative.
Yes.
First, state of the city address.
Yes.
And what do you want to convey to the public?
We're going to be talking about the future. I'll be there in front of many high school students and their parents. They've got a lot at stake in San Jose's future. So I want to talk about the future, whether it's initiatives, as I mentioned before, around after-school programs or teen jobs. I think there's a lot we can do now to invest in the future of this city that will pay us great dividends.
And any message to the Filipino community?
I am committed to being a partner with the Filipino American community here in San Jose. I'm grateful for all the contributions of that community. I can remember for years I was well aware of the great injustice that so many Filipinos suffered who had served in World War II, who were denied access to citizenship in the ways that others got citizenship. I, in fact, worked in Norm Mineta's office, then Congressman Norm Mineta, as a teenager, and very aware of the need to rectify that injustice. And I'm proud of what Norm Mineta did to help support that. My father lived in the Philippines for a couple years during his time in the service. There is a lot that we owe this community, and we want to continue to be supportive of its efforts to continue to thrive here.
There you have it.
Thank you so much.
Our very own mayor, Mayor Sam Liccardo of San Jose. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
You have just heard from Mayor Sam Liccardo, Mayor of San Jose, with regard to his outlook for 2015.
As well as the initiatives in progress for small business owners in the city of San Jose.
We even have a bird's eye view on what to expect for his first State of the City address this March.
If you have any questions or comments, please send them in at info@filamchamber.org, or you can call us at 408-283-0833.
See us and join us once again as we come back to interview another personality interest here in the Silicon Valley. My name is Don Orozco for FACC TV.
And Ann Ramirez, thank you for watching, and see you next time.